Wow. It's been a long time. Okay. What's up, internet? Sorry. What's up, internet? It's your girl Breezy back for another episode of the Black Girl Baking Show after like 2.5, almost 3 years. I know this is coming sudden. I haven't been around for a long time. I disappeared without exiting. I reappeared without entrance. You gonna get what you gonna get. So this episode 41, ironically, is gonna be called Express Yourself because I'm gonna be making this recipe that I made from scratch. I actually created it in the 3 years that I've been gone. And it's an espresso cookie. And then I'm going to express myself about where I've been, what I've been doing, why I've been gone, and why I'm back. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let me wash my hands. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I'm so antsy. All right, so first things first, my hands are washed. Second things second, I have my apron on. Third, I'm gonna preheat my oven because I'm remembering to preheat my oven. So I'm gonna preheat to 325 and I'll be back. 3, 2, 5, start. Now, as you do in every cookie recipe, we're gonna get some butter, get some sugar, cream it together. Actually, first, I lied. First I'm gonna do is a little something with my eggs here. So, as I said, this is an espresso cookie recipe that I made because I felt like at the bakery, which I gotta tell you about because I don't think you even know about the bakery. At the bakery, we have a lot of cookies and I felt like there was getting a little, I don't know, it was a little monotonous as far as the recipes were concerned. And I wanted to have a different cookie with new flavor and interesting stuff going on. So I created an espresso cookie. So you have your eggs right here, 2 eggs, and I have 2 tablespoons of espresso powder. I'm gonna say that again. I need to slow down, I'm hot. And I have 2 tablespoons of espresso powder. Espresso powder and coffee as a whole just needs some kind of liquid to really steep it and disperse it into whatever it's going into. When I first started making this recipe, I was putting it into the flour mixture, but you need to put it into the eggs so it can break apart and really get that strong coffee flavor. So I'm gonna pour it in there. I'm gonna wash my hands because now I got egg yolks over my hands. And then we're gonna mix. So just disperse a little bit, start whisking together, give it a little whiskey whisk. So just whisk it together. You're gonna see it start to really get dark and sludgy. That's perfect, that's exactly what you want. Let it do its thing. Once you've whisked it around for a little bit, just set it aside and let it keep steeping. Somewhere over in this region of your island. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my mixer out because y'all know I don't like doing any kind of arm workouts if I don't have to. Okay. So, now you need a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. And just gonna plop it in there, just let it go. Nice and easy. But I can't let this go without getting all the extra off of there. Every time I get butter off of the paper, I hear my mother's voice in my head saying, girl, that's a whole other stick of butter right there. You better get that off of there. So I can't just throw it away without getting the rest off. So now I got the brown sugar and I got the white sugar. You need both. Amen. Ebony and ivory and MLK and all that. Put them both in the bowl. You're gonna cream it together. Now I have white sugar and brown sugar because when I was looking up how to make a cookie recipe, I found that you need the balance of both. Of course, the brown sugar has the molasses in it, which makes things soft and gooey and smushy, which is great. And the white sugar adds crispness. Like if you just use white sugar, it'll be crisper. Brown sugar adds like the softness. So I like to do both because my favorite texture in life, which I know it's strange to have a favorite texture, but I have a favorite texture. My favorite texture is crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. So I need both. That's why they're in there. Then I'm gonna cream it together until it's nice and light and fluffy and pretty. If you don't beat your stuff long enough, it's gonna be grainy. Your cookies will be kind of grainy. They'll be kind of dense and kind of a little hard. You don't want that. You got to cream your butter. So I'm gonna turn this on. It might be kind of loud, but I'm just gonna let it go and I'll show you what it looks like in the process. There we go. Been so long. I don't know none of those words. Been so long. I'm gonna stop for a second and scrape down the sides of the bowl. Just to make sure that everything's getting mixed in evenly. Everything is getting this good workout. Knock it down. Clean off the beaters a little bit. And keep creaming. All right, I'm gonna scrape it down again one more good time. Although you can start to see the texture is already changing a little bit. It's getting a little bit lighter, a little bit smoother, but it's not there yet. Not yet. You got to have patience. Just like you've had patience for the last, I don't know, 700 something days with me. You got to have patience, baby. And I'll give it another minute or so just to beat and cream till it's nice and smooth. Oh, don't do that, girl. Here we go. Okay, I think we're there. I'm gonna take this out so you can see it. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it here. But I will do a little scoop so you can see it. Perfect, nice and light, fluffy, smooth-ish. It's a little bumpy still because there's still sugar in there, but that's how you want it to look, nice and creamed and beautiful. So I'm gonna scoot you over for a little minute there, bruh. Thank you, appreciate you. And I'm gonna bring back my espresso and eggs, which as you can see, is really starting to disperse. There's not even little clumps of espresso powder in there anymore. It's just all liquid sludge, which is beautiful. I'm gonna take some of my vanilla and put it right on in there. Give it a little whiskey whisk. More liquid can never hurt, especially when you're trying to get the coffee to disperse. Whisk it together, push it back up here. We'll come back to that. So now for the dry mixture. Whole lot of flour. We got 2.5 cups of flour. Got a little bit of salt, little sea salt, and some baking soda. Toss them both in there, give it a little whisk. Make sure that everything is all up and through the flour so we don't get a little clump of baking soda, which tastes terrible, by the way. Did you know that people used to brush their teeth with baking soda?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that means.
They still do.
I don't even know what that means. Like I've been wanting to try it just to see what that feels like, tastes like, but do you just use your saliva as like liquid to get it to move around?
No, I think they put one on.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm so grateful to God that I was born when I was born, because Colonial Brianna could have never. I mean, Colonial Brianna also would have been a slave, but so again, I give thanks. Now that the flour mixture is all mixed together, I'm gonna slide this back just a little bit over here. Yeah, I'm gonna just dump it. You're gonna dump it in here. You don't need to mix it in there and dump it in there in sections because we don't have any liquid to alternate with it, so just dump it all in there. I'm gonna knock some of the flour off the top of here so it doesn't fling off at me when I start up this mixer. And then you're gonna mix it together until it's almost completely combined. Not all the way, because we still have to add in the chocolate to this. So just until it's almost all the way moistened. You want it to be a little crumbly, a little dry still. So pop this back up, slowly start, give a little spin. Uh-oh, this don't look like it's gonna dough up. I think we might have too much flour. It looked a little dusty. We're gonna try it again. Yeah, that's not going, well, no, that's not gonna do it. Oh Lord. I might have to restart. Oh, you know what? No. I didn't put this in, girl. Oh, we're starting off on a phenomenal note.
We are.
It's okay. It's okay. So, like I always say, life is like a bar of chocolate, and sometimes you mess up. But we get up and live to see another day, for the Lord is good. I put in the flour too soon. That's my bad. I got a little ahead of myself, got too much dip on my chip. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Everything's fine, everything's fine. We're gonna try it now and see what happens. And Lord willing, it'll be okay. So I'm gonna add in the egg and the coffee and the vanilla that you saw me talk about like 2 or 3 times that I just forgot existed, and see it start to pull together. And then we'll see if these cookies even work, because at this point, I don't know. All right, we gonna be okay. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there because it's almost mixed together. Let's get this chocolate. So here's the tea, here's the real thing. When I first made this recipe, I got inspired because I saw that there was espresso chips at the store. There was like these espresso chips, not chocolate chips, not semi-sweet, they were espresso. So I started using it, it was great, I loved it. When I went to go try to find those espresso chips to make this recipe today, they're nowhere to be found. I don't know what Nestle did, but people must not have been buying them. They're nowhere to be found. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. I looked high and low, I looked on Amazon, I looked in China, I looked everywhere. There ain't no espresso chips, and I certainly don't know how to make them. So what I decided to do instead was to opt out and do a 72% cacao chocolate bar, because I think that'll complement the coffee espresso flavor and add a little punch of bitterness and be delicious. So I'm gonna take these dark chocolate bars and just roughly chop them into whatever shapes and sizes that you want them to be. Truly, whatever your heart contents. I like bigger chunks because I think it's fun to bite into a big old chunk of chocolate in a cookie. I find it interesting. Get some shards in there too. And then you'll see they have all these different little mismatched pieces, and it looks really artisanal and fancy, because that's another thing that's happened in the last 3 years, y'all. I'm a fancy girl now. I don't have any more money, but I am more fancy. I just had my first niece, and I'm working up on my rich auntie vibes. So we're gonna do a little artisanal, you know, sea salt on top recipe. All right, yeah, that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna take them and dump them in. And these are 3.5 ounce bars. So usually I would say do, I think, a bag and a half of chips, which is like, I think those are 12 ounces. This will be fine, especially since they're bigger chunks. You'll be good. And I'm gonna stop there and just see if it might be too much, because truth be told, it might be a little bit too much for the dough to handle. So we're gonna turn it on and see what happens. Oh, it's crunching, you hear that? Oh, that's perfect right there. I think we're gonna be okay. You don't wanna overmix your dough. If you overmix the dough, I don't know all the science behind it, I probably should, but I'm a home baker, that's my excuse. If you overmix it, the dough, well, the cookies will become hard and dense when you go to bake them. It won't be crunchy. It'll just be, it'll be hard. It'll be like biting down on a stale cookie. So you wanna do it just till it's moistened, and it looks something like this. All right, I'm gonna move this out the way, and I'm gonna get a baking sheet so we can bake these cookies. So now I got my baking sheet, got my scooper to scoop out these dough balls, and you just wanna make dough balls as big as you want your cookies to be. I always feel like I'm doing small cookies and then they bake and they're much larger than I intended. Some call it a blessing, maybe a curse. I say it's the Lord's will for my life. So I'm gonna try to do a small-ish cookie, somewhere around that size. I would say maybe like 2 inches. And that'll give you a nice size cookie, okay? You can see that the chocolate's poking through. You can see some on the side. I want a little bit more chocolate. So I'm gonna take one of these little shards and stick it right on top. Cause how are you gonna know there's chocolate in the cookie if you don't see a piece saying hello? Hello. Just like that. I say give it a little push down with your hand, just ever so slightly. Because if you push down too hard right now, the dough very well, when you go to bake it, become very flat and have little cookie coffee pancakes. It's honestly, I would say that you need to put your dough in the fridge for at least a night so that the fats in the cookie can cool down, they can disperse evenly, and they won't get flat. But I'm impatient and I don't want to wait a whole night to get these cookies. So just stick it on here, you'll be fine. Give it a little, just ever so lightly, push it down so it doesn't have a rounded top anymore, and you're good. Scoop out as many cookie balls as you want to, as many little circles. If you're gonna eat some for yourself, just do a couple. Pop the rest of the dough in the fridge, and you can get some more tomorrow You can put the dough in the freezer if you want to wait until next month to do it. You'll be fine. I'm gonna do like a solid round 6 dozen. 6 dozen sounds good. I'm not, sorry, not 6 dozen. My gosh, half dozen or 6. This won't even make 6 dozen. What am I talking about? Put you there, pal. Get a little shard for the optics. For the optics. So what I love about this dough too is that once you have it in the fridge for a couple days, I don't know, more science stuff, but the top like of the dough, the coffee in it oxidizes. So when you scoop into it, the top is like a almost like grayish, mossy green color, which seems like mold. It's not, I swear. And then when you scoop into it, the dough is still like this color, maybe a little bit more brown. And then when you put it on the baking sheet, it bakes and it's kind of like marbled and it looks like artisanal art. I think it's beautiful. I think they're so pretty. My mother hated it. She thought it was ugly, so we no longer sell these at the bakery. But I think it's so pretty and cool, so, you know, I'll let y'all decide when you make it yourself. Now that you have your cookies on your cooking sheet, on your baking sheet, I have one more trick to make it artisanal. Because like I said, I'm fancy now. Take a little bit more of that fine sea salt that I have, and I'm just gonna give it the slightest little drizzle of salt on top. You don't want a lot. Don't do a lot, because then you'll have salty cookies. But you're gonna give a little slight drizzle of salt right on top because honestly, I don't know. It just came to me. But it seems right. Something about contrast and balance and flavors and bitterness and sweetness. It just seemed right to me. I'm gonna throw these in the oven. We're gonna bake them for about 10, 12, 15 minutes, somewhere in there, depending on your oven. And they'll pop out and we'll have cookies. While the cookies are baking, we probably need to address the elephant in the room. I know, okay. As you guys know, I think one of the last videos I put up on my channel, I made something, but I mentioned that my dad had died, right? He died March 14th of 2021. And after that, it just didn't really feel right to get on camera and be making cookies and sweet stuff. It just felt trivial. It felt dumb. And every time I tried to work up to wanting to get back to it, it just felt like this, how am I gonna be kikiing when my daddy's dead? It felt strange, so I just didn't do it for a long time. And honestly, there's a much longer story there of how I was just avoiding my emotions around coping and grieving with my dad's death. But it never left my heart. Every day till today, I've been waking up and saying, man, I haven't made a video. I haven't made a video. I didn't make a video. I'm not making videos. And then the days turned into weeks, turned into months, turned into now almost 3 years. It came to be a time where it just felt like too much. You know, my dad died March of 2021. The bakery moved to our new location in September of 2021. And when we first started there, y'all, so busy. I was getting there at like 8 o'clock, wasn't leaving till 11:30, sometimes midnight, day after day after day. When we first opened, we were open 6 days a week. 6 days a week doing that schedule. My spirit was weary. My body was exhausted and I had no room in my mind or really even in my schedule to do anything else. So it just kept getting pushed back. Push back, push back, push back. So finally I got to a point where I was like, all right, God, if I'm gonna get back to these videos, I need 2 things. I need help and I want to improve the quality of my videos. I want them to be clearer. I want it to look better. I want it to be smoother. I want it to be crisp. I want the audio to be great. Like I need it to be better. And I kept praying that. And I just let it sit in my heart for a while. And then fast forward to this year, I, along with another person that I know and another person that I know, made a Bible study. And in this Bible study, one day we happened to be talking about what we thought we wanted to do when we were little girls. And I said, I had no idea. Everyone's like, okay, but you do those videos, right? Like you know what you're gonna do now. You're gonna be on TV, you're gonna bake. And I was like, I don't know, guys. Like, probably, I think so. That's what I think, is gonna happen. And then at the end, this other woman named Kiana said, well, what are they talking about? So I told her about y'all. I told her about what I've been doing. I told her that I've been on the news every month for the last 2 years, which is another development I forgot to tell you about. I'm on the news every month. And she said, you need to do it. I said, yeah, I know I want to. She said, well, I'll help you. I said, what? She said, yeah, I'll help you. I'd love to do that. I said, all right, well, I want to improve my quality of my, the visual. And she said, well, you need to buy that camera. I said, yeah, but I'm scared. It's money. And she said, you have to do it. You need to do it. So long story short, long story long, low key, here I am. I have the camera. I have the microphones. I have the Kiana behind the camera, who is who I'm talking to sometimes. And I'm back with a plan. I'm back with vision. I'm back with consistency. I'm gonna say this right here for accountability. I'm going to make a video and have 2 videos actually a month. 2 videos every month. Once every other, was it Monday? Once every other Monday, I'm gonna put up a video. It's gonna be me doing this right here. But in between those videos, you'll see little snippets of me doing stuff. You might see me baking on the news. You might see me doing an outtake of this. You might see me just talk about something I made at home. You're gonna see me every single week. For I don't know how long. Till infinity and beyond, I guess. But I'm back. Like for real, for real. I know I said that a couple times, but I'm really, really back. That's the long and short of it. But I'm grateful for it, and I'm looking forward to whatever's gonna come next. So that's all I got. Where the cookies at? Okay, so here are our cookies. They're out, they're baked, they're beautiful. You can see the chocolate's kind of melted all over the place. Doesn't it look artisanal and gorgeous? Okay, so I've been letting them cool for a little bit so I can try it out. Let's get the breaking open. How the influencers do. Wow. Look at that. And then they put it on top of each other like that. And then they do this. Let me stop playing, just eat this cookie. Lord bless it. What can I say? When you're an influencer like me and you create something and it turns out well, you're always blessed and honored to have it happen, but you're still a little bit surprised at yourself, like, wow, am I really that girl? I guess I am. No, this is really good though. It's really good. It is a teensy bit dry. I think that's probably my fault, but the coffee flavor in the cookie is there. It's light. It's not super strong. It's like you get a little tap, little tap of coffee, and then you have that 72% cacao chocolate in there, which is just art, but it also adds a nice bitterness to it, and the slight salt on top, just for a little contrast, little shake and bake. Yeah. So wow, that's the first episode back of the relaunching of the Black Girl Baking Show. You see the new logo, you see it. You see the color coordination from the logo to the apron to my fingernails. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.